morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another day of Before Coffee. We're here with our wacky and weird news, and there sure is wacky and weird stuff going on out there. My green screen's not correct.
It's all weird.
I swear I checked that it was correct, and then I look and it's not correct.
I don't know if mine's correct or not.
We're here with some weird and wacky news that we found for this week.
Okay.
This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look at our stories right before we've started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. Let's get into today's headlines and roll that segue wheel. Today on Wacky and Weird Wednesday. Pink Power Ranger hacker deletes white supremacist dating site. And Sicilian man sues a restaurant for TikTok.
Jeez. And a Detroit suburb settles a case about putting a live person in a body bag. And a rare and beautiful bird thought to be extinct for 100 years is spotted.
U.S. Department of War sends letters to Toronto sex shop about adult items sent to Bahrain. And Florida man wearing a red lace bra and G-string accused of possessing a gun while trespassing on a construction site. Why was he wearing all that stuff in the first place?
It's his style. And the Panama Sea stopped breathing in 2025, and satellites fishermen saw what had never been recorded in decades. And my other headlines about to shoot. Hold on a second. It disappeared. I hate live stuff that doesn't work for me. Okay, an archaeologist discovered what happened to the Mayas, a smoking gun.
In my culture news, Rome is trying to charge tourists to visit the Trevi Fountain. Good luck.
And guess what it is? It's National Bobblehead Day. So our buddy Mike Sanchez
Here,
is
not
gonna read a couple
again.
stories for us. And hotel security. What's going on there? Anyway, it is January 7th, 2025. 2026 on Before Coffee. Missed a year again.
That's right, it's Bobblehead. Get your bobbleheads out.
At least Moses Malone. I should give Moses Malone bobblehead over here because at least he was an all-time
How many
great.
bobbleheads do you own?
Well, they just bought them in these estate sales. They just come with sports memorabilia.
I see. Okay.
I got 6. It's like I got 6, and most of them are Baltimore Ravens players. This one here is Mark Sanchez, who played for the Jets at the time. I got Moses Malone, who might have been a historic bobblehead for the 76ers basketball team. And like
Historical
4 Baltimore
bobblehead.
Ravens players. Derek Mason was a pretty good player. Derek Mason, Kyle Bowler. I can't see the other two behind them. A couple of wide receivers, I believe. I forget who they are. I never look at them, right? They're just sitting on the shelf over here.
Well,
But
you
Mark
should.
Sanchez
If you
made
have
the
so many,
news.
You should be looking at them and appreciating your collection or something.
I should be selling them. Mark Sanchez is for sale. You can have Mark Sanchez for only $100, and you can have him
What are we
today.
gonna do?
And
How are we gonna pull him up on screen if you sell him?
well, there's more. Well, we'll just keep selling more. We'll just keep selling whatever I put up on the screen.
This is also a shopping channel.
Yeah,
If you
Mark
call us
Sanchez
within
comes with a bonus.
Within 2 hours, you can get this bobblehead for $100. Live
Yeah, don't forget,
I
he
don't
does
know if
work.
live auctioning is allowed.
Right. Mark
On
Sanchez
YouTube.
comes with a bonus of he is actual security for your building, so don't forget that part. So he will throttle anybody parked outside your building for more than 20 minutes. He will just
All right. Well, isn't that a
drag him out of
deal?
his car seat and start beating him up because he's about 6'2" and 220, so he's not a little guy.
Okay, now that we've got the reference out, let's roll our segue wheel.
He just looks small in this bobblehead. He just looks smaller.
Rolling the Segway wheel.
I'm actually a giant.
Sanchez is beat us up.
Hey, at least he's not known for a butt fumble. Hypothetical. It's going to be about Mark Sanchez and bobbleheads. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not about that. Our first story is actually about hacking Nazi dating site and deleting it off the internet, and also revealing who was on it. Doxing all the people who were on the website. That's our story for my first weird and wacky news. This is from the wackiness is that there was a white supremacist dating site, but then I guess I'm not surprised. There's a dating site for everybody. There's a dating site for people who like aquariums, probably. So
people with no self-esteem got to date somebody, I guess, right?
Yep. Amelia Hansford has a story on the Pink News. An ethical hacker successfully deleted 3 white supremacist websites in front of an elated crowd, all while dressed as Pink Power Ranger. The semi-anonymous hacktivist, who goes by the name Martha Root, which is great because root is another word for like the root access of your computer, deleted the servers of 3 neo-Nazi websites live on stage at the Chaos Communication Congress in Hamburg, Germany last week. After giving a talk on ethical hacking, as in reasons to hack people and delete their servers, alongside journalists Eva Hoffman and Christian Fuchs, Martha, dressed as Kimberly Hart from the Power Rangers TV series, then proceeded to delete the servers for White Date, White Child, and White Deal. Wow, what a great fucking dating site name, as the elated audience applauded. White Date, a dating website described by Hoffman as Tinder for Nazis, was taken down alongside White Child, a sperm and egg donor matching site, and White Deal, described by TechCrunch as a labor market for racists. What did you want to say?
I'm not actually white. I just looked at my sheet of paper, which is white, and we don't match.
You're albino. We already went over this, right? You're albino. Your hair went white at 30. You have blue eyes.
I have the most translucent skin on Earth, but I'm still not white. I'm pink.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't let the lighting confuse you. The administration for all 3 sites confirmed they had been taken down in a Twitter post, also claiming the hacker had deleted their social media account before it was restored. They publicly deleted all my websites while the audience rejoices, the anonymous admin wrote. This is cyber terrorism. Well, you're doing societal terrorism, so I guess you get what you sow. A viral clip of the moment shared across social media shows Martha opening up a Python's code script. Yeah, Python! As a Python coder myself, I can do data analysis with Python, which began erasing the sites on their backups, as well as several email accounts associated with the websites. Speaking to TechCrunch, they claimed that accessing White Data's public data was surprisingly easy thanks to poor cybersecurity hygiene that would make even your grandma's AOL account blush. Wow, they have terrible security, and they're racists? I guess sometimes I believe God is real. Each user's image reportedly contained metadata, information attached to an image or file. Everyone has metadata on their pictures. It will tell you where the picture was taken GPS location wise, right? It will actually give you the longitude and latitude of where the picture was taken, you know, and you can use that to be like, this guy, and that's how, if you're ever one of those people who are like, how did this 12-year-old find out where I live? They just went on your Facebook, looked up the data on your Facebook photo, the metadata, and then said, wow, you took this photo here, you probably live there. Wow, I found out where you live. It's very easy. And that's why I don't believe in privacy. As soon as you go on the internet and start posting shit, your privacy is void, in my opinion. Some people believe it shouldn't be that way, but I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, I think know
people on the
what
internet
you're
should be just as guilty of their consequences, or just as ready to accept their consequences as people in real life, right? If I want to be racist in real life, I better be ready to be punished on the internet for it. Information attached to image or video file metadata that particularly hands out home addresses with the side of an awkward selfie. And I think that's all the story. I think it's just oh, here we go. Imagine calling yourself the master race, but forgetting to secure your own website. Maybe try mastering the host WordPress before world domination, Martha wrote in a subsequent post. After deleting the websites, They produced the leak user data, including profiles, names, pictures, descriptions, locations, and much more. So I guess check out the files if you want to find out if your neighbor is a white supremacist. The site had a combined 6,500 users. 86% were men and 14% were women, which Martha describes as a gender ratio that makes the Smurf village look like a feminist utopia. That's all your story from the ethical hacker deleting all the white supremacists.
All right.
Well, not all of them, 3 of them. I wish it was all of them.
Only 3. We gotta dox the rest of them so we can all just sit up in the front lawn.
Yeah, you have to find where all of their Nazis are.
That's what Nazis are gonna do to you if you're not, perfectly whatever they decide. All right, so I would just like to say this little sidebar before the hypothetical. It is kind of a hypothetical. Did you ever run into somebody that won't give you their bank account information? Like, oh yeah, I'll transfer this money to you if you just give me the bank account information, the routing number and your account number. I can't give that to you. And then they spend all day on the internet giving away all their information to everybody.
Their metadata by posting selfies on Instagram, yeah.
And they don't even realize that your bank account information on every check you've ever wrote. If you're used to write paper checks, and there's a system set up for detecting fraud in those cases. So why would you think giving me that information verbally instead of me reading off a check is any different? Anyway, my hypothetical is, this is your ad for this is your ad. I won't tell you what it's for. Feeling insecure, feeling disrespected, feeling like nobody cares. Well, you're a Nazi. But here you go. That's actually the Nazi calling card is. You have no friends, right? Nobody respects you. Nobody likes you. We like you. You're just fine the way you are. The only reason people don't like you is because you're white. It's against white people. That's right. It's against white people. I'm special. I'm so special. That's right. That guy said I'm special. He's made me special because he said I'm special. Like, nobody's special. Get over yourself, loser. Okay, next story. Don't forget, in the world today, everybody is special and everybody's equal. Try to work that out in your mind.
Oh God, my brain. What do you mean
Everybody's
I'm not the owner of the
equal.
entire world because I was born with less melanin than everyone else? Oh man, my life sucks. Wish it was that easy.
And special does not mean unique. Special means you can, like, ESP or something, right? It means, I can read minds. Hey, I can fly. That would make you special. But you just having this feelings that you have about yourself and your inadequacy does not make you special. It should make you a human. And people exploiting you are the Nazis, not everybody else. The Nazis are going, we found a loser. Don't forget, every organization has people like,
which is shorter, and it's about a man who's suing a restaurant due to a TikTok video who revealed his affair. It's another Coldplay situation over here, if I ever remember what happened in the summer. A 42-year-old man from Catania, this is on Merker, Deutschland, from Christopher Elzer. A 42-year-old man from Catania was dining with his lover. The restaurant filmed a scene for advertising purposes, and his wife discovered the video. I mean, did he sign off the waiver saying you're allowed to use my footage on the... Yeah, I mean, usually they ask you permission. The Cadian man, a man from Sicilian port of Catania, is facing the ruins of his marriage. A situation he himself brought upon himself. Exactly. You decided to cheat on your wife. TikTok did not tell you, hey, can you cheat on your wife real quick so we can take a really nice romantic dinner photo?
It's like suing the camera manufacturer when a private detective finds you doing it, right? The camera did it. The camera caught me.
Dear.
No,
the
you caught
42-year-old had told his wife that he had to attend a business dinner. Instead, he spent the evening in a restaurant with another woman. The staff filmed the two of them eating to produce promotional material for social media and posted the video on TikTok. As expected, the man's wife discovered the video shortly after it was published and thus learned of her husband's infidelity. It would have been so easy. I don't want this guy to get away with it, but it would have been so easy to be like, well, that was the business dinner. We were filming some stuff for TikTok. I got a role as an extra in a promotional ad. You know, he could have just said that. Instead, he went, sorry, I cheated on you.
She was an actress in the video. Don't you understand?
Exactly. He could have gone away with it. Instead, he just came out with the truth. You know what? I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he was able to reveal the truth to his wife after all this time. Who knows how long he was cheating on her. They immediately announced their separation and kicked her. She immediately announced their separation and kicked her husband out of their shared home. The 42-year-old responded by filing a lawsuit against the restaurant, accusing the owners of violating his privacy. The Italian consumer protection organization Chronicles is representing the man in the legal dispute. Francesca Tanasi, a spokesperson for the organization, explained, in certain cases, the publication of video can have very serious consequences for a person's private and family life. Tanasi warned the restaurants must obtain explicit permission before featuring guests in promotional material. I have to agree with the lawyer here. As somebody who is in video production, you have to bring waivers with you, paper waivers, a freaking digital waiver, something where somebody can sign with their name saying, my full name, sign here that you're allowed to use my image in your promotional material. So if they don't do that, they are breaking a law. Or it's not, sadly it isn't. Yeah. I thought they would have, if they had just had him sign a paper, it would have been done for, right? He would have been completely done for. It is unacceptable for a restaurant to film its guests without clear consent and publish the video, thereby exposing the person to unforeseeable consequences, Tanasi said. Vodacons is demanding compensation for the man. The organization is also threatening to refer the case to Italian Data Protection Authority. That is true. Europe has way better data protection. Like, for example, my friend used to work at this one shop in the Netherlands, and then I went to that shop to buy some cables. It's like a cable shop. You buy computer cables and stuff. And on checkout, his face was on the checkout being like, thanks for purchasing some cables from us. And then I said, I sent him the picture being like, LOL, you're on the checkout page. And then he said, I don't work for that company anymore. They are not allowed to use my image on their website still. So we had to contact them and be like, please take my image off of the website. I don't work for you anymore. You can't keep using my image. So this is like a common, Europe has a pretty good data protection authority on that. So yeah, I think this restaurant's going to lose the lawsuit. Honestly, they should, because they should have gotten a waiver. The association emphasizes that man never consented to appearing on camera and was unaware that he was being filmed. The case could have been far-reaching consequences for how restaurants and other businesses handle their customer privacy when creating content for social media. It shouldn't have changed anything, because this has been a rule since the 60s, probably. I don't know. However long people have had camcorders and be able to film things, this has existed, right? You have to sign a waiver. This is, I don't know. It's because of all the TikTok people who go on the street, right? And they say, hey, what song are you listening to right now? They should be getting those people to sign a waiver too. Just saying.
Right.
All of
every one of these
if you're ever
filmers
filmed on the street by a TikToker, you better ask them for a waiver. Otherwise, you can sue them.
You need a person with a clipboard following you around with pieces of paper on it going, sign right here, otherwise we're gonna have to blur out your face.
I mean when you see that stuff with Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel and Colbert, whoever goes on the street and is asking people on the streets of New York City or wherever they are, there's a PA with a clipboard going, thanks for appearing on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Please sign here that you allow us to put your child, and you looking like an idiot. Not like my favorite one from Jimmy Kimmel is,
why do they do that?
Asking dads their children's birthdays. And then they signed a waiver allowing themselves to be on TV showing that they don't know their children's birthday. But anyways, what did you want to say?
Like, I don't mind if I look stupid, at least I got on TV.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, what I'm saying is, and what does the waiver prevent? It prevents lawsuits, because they have a lot of money at stake on these shows.
Exactly.
If you're a small time operator and you don't get a waiver, boy, good luck having a business anymore. They're going to take all your assets, man. You have to sell them. You got to sell your camera. You got to sell your house. You got to sell your house to pay this guy who filmed illegally. Way to go. You had to have that
Gotta
gotcha
be
moment.
careful. And of course, this story, just like I said at the beginning, is very similar to the Coldplay concert in which the Kiss Cam showed CEO Andy Byron in an intimate pose with the head of Human Resources. And when that video went viral, Byron had resigned as the CEO of the tech company Astronomer because relationships between peers and subordinates in the US often violate compliance rules. So it's not even like, oh, I got caught cheating, but also I was breaking corporate law. You can't date your human resources. Definitely can't date your human resources. You can probably date your assistant. It's probably less bad to date your assistant, but it's definitely really bad to date your human resources. The person who's supposed to be making sure you're keeping your shit in line and you're sleeping with them.
The shit about that video that pisses me off the most, right?
Yeah.
It's not that they're cheating. It's not that they got caught. The fact that this guy's a CEO and look at the shitty seats he got to a Coldplay concert. Holy crap. Yeah. What a CEO he is. Boy, look at them. They're in the nosebleed seats. Oh, wow. You can almost see the stage from there.
Well, that's the boxes, right? It's like it's the boxes where you invite 50 people in there and then you just don't even watch the concert. You just hang out eating food. I don't understand the boxes. I understand why the arenas sell them, but like I don't understand why you would sell them as an artist. Like nobody's gonna be watching your show.
If I was master CEO of the company and I was trying to impress the HR girl, I'd put her in the front row and go, look, you can see up his nose. You can see his nose hairs up there.
Right there. Yeah, that's way more impressive.
Yeah, exactly. You can see what kind of underwear he's wearing and everything.
They would have never been caught either, because they might have still been on the crowd photos, but...
That wasn't my hypothetical, by the way.
What's your hypothetical?
My hypothetical is Italy. This is Italy, right?
Yes, Sicilian.
There's one of your top 10 countries, France being number one, where people don't care about marital infidelity. In France, 40% of people don't give a shit.
Did you actually look this up, or is this...
Yeah, this is from Legal Florida. Really did a survey. First 4 lawyers did a survey. Somebody did a survey, but they're citing it. Number 7 is Italy in this country. So, of all the countries, most of these are European countries. We got Spain, Germany, Senegal, Canada, Chile, and Italy is 7th. So, Britain's right behind Italy. So it's somewhere in the middle, I guess. It's not towards the top because France, 40%. That's nearly half. Don't care. It's like. Getting married, that's just collecting people. That's all it is.
That's for taxes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're married, whatever. I gotta see my mistress.
I wonder where the Netherlands is on that list, because it's one of the only European countries with legal prostitution. Right?
Yeah, because the United States is probably not even that controversial, although people claim it is, but it's because the United States was founded by Puritans, at least the Northeast was. And they were full of shit, right? They're like, we're going to burn witches. Women are evil. Women belong to you. So, again, this is more or less the patriarchy trying to tell you what to do. And that's what Puritanism was all about. You're a woman. If you do anything that we don't like, you're a witch. Okay, so...
Let's roll our segue for the next part of the show. It's your story time.
Yeah, we're going to... A shorter story first. This one is a...
And
really
I'm going to
re-roll
the wheel because it's going to give me hypothetical again. Goodness.
Oh,
put like 20 million things on this wheel so it doesn't repeat the same stuff. That's what... I could write some poems for you.
We can put a Clarahoo on there. Remember that? Clarahoo? It's like a limerick with 4 lines.
We could make up a song. Just make up a song about this story.
Haiku. Haiku time.
That'd be really funny.
A haiku about dying shouldn't be too hard to come up with. This person did not actually die. Everybody dies, but this person is going to die at least twice. This is APnews.com. Detroit suburb settles woman's body bag case for $3.25 million. That's right. If they bag you up and take you to the morgue and you're not dead, cha-ching. You're cashing in. And you didn't even have to die to get it. You probably just had to have a head cold. Detroit suburb has agreed to pay $3.25 million settlement with the family of a young woman who had been declared dead at home, but then gasped for air and opened her eyes when her body bag was unzipped at a funeral home. All the way to the funeral home. They didn't take her to the city morgue first. They said, we're straight to the funeral home. Let's get her to a grave immediately. I don't know what that is. Southfield paramedics, Southfield, which is a suburb of Detroit. Southfield, which is a field south of Detroit, I'm guessing. Paramedics were accused of gross negligence in how they responded to Tamisha Beauchamp after a 911 call in 2020. So this is almost 6 years ago. The 20-year-old, who is now at least 25, who had cerebral palsy, was eventually rushed to the hospital and died 2 months later. Oh, she's still not alive.
Complications due to being in a bag, or was she just already on her death's bed?
We recognize that no resolution can undo the profound tragedy that occurred on August 23rd, 2020, or ease the pain experienced by Mrs. Beauchamp's family. Southfield said in a statement, this case is extremely extraordinary, difficult circumstances that arose in the complex world of the global pandemic. Beauchamp was struggling to breathe when her family called 911. A medical crew tried to resuscitate her and consulted a doctor who declared her dead over the phone. Well, that sounds like a dead person.
That is bizarre.
Opinion. Over the phone. Hola. She's probably dying of COVID. I don't want to get that shit on me. Is probably what the doctor said. Being, that. What's that oath they take that they basically ignore whenever they feel like it? Anyway, that later that day, a funeral home opened the body bag and found Beauchamp gasping for air. She was swiftly taken to the hospital, but never recovered. She was put in a situation she never should have been in. She probably should have got treatment instead of laying in a body bag, which probably led to her demise.
So brain death, she didn't get enough oxygen to her brain.
Yeah. She was put in a situation she never should have been in. Stephen Herbis, I almost said hubris. I got dyslexia sometimes. Herbis, a attorney for Beauchamp's family, said Tuesday, medical professionals, he added, said Beauchamp would have survived if she had been taken to Meadle Hospital from her home. And there is your sad story. Well, here's some more of it. So, Southfield fought the lawsuit and persuaded a judge to dismiss it based on governmental immunity. What the hell's governmental immunity? We get the fuck up and you can't sue us?
Is he the president now? So. Is that what's going on?
There ain't no such thing as government immunity. That's just some horse shit. Governments get sued all the time. The Southfield fire chief said Beauchamp's situation might have been a case of the Lazarus syndrome, a reference to people who come back to life without assistance after attempts to resuscitate have failed. No, she was a victim of we're too fucking lazy to do our jobs. That's what she's a victim of. Okay, there's your story. Sabah, go about this sad situation. Yeah, the cop declared her. I mean, sorry, the cop. The doctor declared her dead over the phone. I went to medical school. I could detect things over the phone somehow.
Is she breathing? No. Okay, she's dead then. That's not true. What about CPR? There. Did they have like a do not resuscitate order or something? A DNR? Like what? That doesn't mean this. I don't need more details. I need more details on this story.
I just don't. To me, it's just come like up in the.
Fucking... He's not even gonna go on trial. Right? He's been
the funny
pardoned.
Part. Right. Governmental immunity. I don't think so. No such thing, buddy. I don't know where that even comes from. My haiku is
silent shadows creep, a body bound, dreams confined. Hope whispers goodbye. Just
oh boy, that's sad.
Everyone just go to medical school, because I guess we can't trust doctors anymore either. Just everyone has to be educated, and everyone should just take first aid courses and do it yourself.
Okay, next story. I think we're next story. I have, let's do this one. The rare and beautiful. It's from Earth.com. A rare and beautiful bird thought to be extinct is rediscovered, which is a new word. Rediscovered after 100 years of no sighting. This is from Eric Rawls at Earth.com. Elusive birds can be hard to protect, especially when they move under cover of darkness and lie low in thick desert grass by day. That's a challenge with the night parrot, a small green and yellow species long considered near mythical across Australia's interior.
Was it called the night parrot?
It's called the night parrot.
Okay.
Yeah. From 2020 to 2023, let's do the story from the start, I suppose. A focused effort on Nagaropa County, I know I pronounced that wrong, set out to answer three practical questions. Where these parrots are living, what threatens them there and what people can do now to keep them alive. The approach was hands-on and methodical. Instead of waiting for chance sightings, the team paired local knowledge with tools and that work while people sleep. The goal was simple: build a clear picture of the night parrot's daily needs and pressures, and nibbling at its edge, find them and then save them. For 20 to 23 years, indigenous rangers and scientists deployed rugged, weatherproof audio recorders across dozens of sites, searching for the night parrot. Night parrots have distinctive calls, so detections of these devices acted like pins on a map. When recordings confirmed parrots at a location, camera traps followed to learn where predators shows up nearby. The team also collected predator scat to identify what those hunters had been eating. Then added decades of satellite imagery to track how often fires rolled through the landscape. Nick Leesburg, an ecologist at the University of Queensland and a co-author of the study, helped explain the soundscape these devices captured. One of the night parrots' diverse array of calls sounded like diddly dip, like a telephone, explains Leesburg. Another sounded like dink dink, resembling a bell. Dink dink, I guess. What they heard in tape monitors detected night parrots at more than half the surveyed sites, stretched across a wide slice of off-desert. That pattern points to a real population, not a stray bird passing through. Follow-up work located the bird's daytime roosts inside a dense older clumps of spinifex grass. In this region, the key part is full spinifex. It sounds like some real dangerous, sharp, invasive grass, also known as Triadia longiceps, which forms tough, dome-like shelters where a parrot can stay cool and hidden. Oh yeah, make good nests. These shelters aren't interchangeable. Younger, sparse spinifex doesn't offer the same cover. Night parrots depend on mature, tightly packed clumps that take time to form. Night parrots lost their shelters. The Great Sandy Desert sees lightning strikes and long dry spells that can set off fast-moving fires. When blazes return too often, older spinifex doesn't get the years it needs to grow and to protect the domes. The study found that that country around the roosts tend to burn on a cycle of several years, which is quick in plant terms and risks keeping the habitat stuck in youthful, thinner stage. There's a practical fit within reach. Cooler, well-planned burns at the right times can create a patchwork of fuel breaks. That mosaic reduces the odds that one high-density wildfire will sweep across the sand plains and erase parrot shelter in one go. So what we're saying is the grass that got eliminated through all these non-controlled burns, which just happened because of a spark or a lightning strike or something, those wipe out the young vegetation, which never gets a chance to grow, and that's the vegetation that these birds were building their nests out of, or building their nests in. They were just collecting in these clumps of grass. So, how to save night parrots? The recommendations fit the place. Fire management should learn on the ranges. Rangers' deep local knowledge should lean on the rangers' deep local knowledge and use modern mapping to guide cooler season burns. Otherwise, burn the stuff when it's not fire season. Get rid of the dead vegetation so it doesn't get into a conflagration that takes down everything. So there's your story. It's got a little bit more to it, but I don't spend a lot of time on it. Long story short, they thought these birds didn't exist. They had to locate their songs and they had to locate their nests, and the rest is history. They've discovered that the lack of grass for their nests was eliminating their possibilities of breeding, in other words. There's your quick story. Let's have a haiku.
In dusk's gentle sigh, feathers dance through the shadows deep. Lost songs find the sky. And they go, fire, fire, or something. That's what's destroying their nests. There's a little joke there, I guess, at the end.
Okay, that's my two stories.
For the next story.
Okay, I'll try to come up with an
Give me a bad pun.
Bad pun.
This next story is coming from the US. Because people have been sending sex toys to Bahrain. This is by Alex Arsenich.
Wow.
Alex Arsenich on CTV News Canada. Not one, but 2 letters were sent from the Pentagon to a Toronto-based sex toy store. found inside the boxes of returned adult items that had somehow made their way to the U.S. naval base in Bahrain. Well, some people want some pleasure going. What? Some people ordered some sex toys to Bahrain. What's the problem? The letters were received over the span of about a month over the summer. Bon Gibon co-founder Grace Bennett recalled amusingly, "We didn't even know the product was going to Bahrain until it came back to us months later. And it just kind of unraveled this whole hilarious moment," the 34-year-old said in an interview with CTV News Toronto. The online sexual wellness store shipped worldwide when the first launched in 2019, but Bennett says they now mostly service Canada, the United States, South America, Europe, and Asia, due to various laws and regulations about what items can be imported to countries, including Bahrain. Yeah, no one's allowed to have an orgasm in Bahrain. How dare you? That's against the law. Bon Gibon also frequently ships to military bases, and Bennett says she suspects the packages were likely forwarded to someone stationed in Bahrain, since her company does not ship there directly. This past year has posed a particular challenge for Bennett's business, thanks to the tariffs by convicted felon Trump, and that imposed de minimis exemption being scrapped. De minimis. What is the minimis? De minimis. De minimis exemption, but it's a tariff exemption if there's goods that are being delivered to the U.S. that are evaluated to be worth $800 or less. They're excluded from duty. Okay, so now that's gone. They have to pay a lot of tariffs for their goods. So because of that, Bennett says items were being held at the border or returned to Bon Gibon's warehouse on a near daily basis. On one of the days, combing through the returned parcels, Bennett's warehouse manager noticed one of the boxes had obviously been opened with the sanitary seals broken. The content placed back haphazardly inside, and a letter containing the U.S. Department of Defense's seal in the upper left corner. The U.S. Department of Defense has since been renamed to the Department of War by the clown-in-chief, after the commander-in-chief opened the former name was Woke. Okay, whatever. This story's wacky enough. We don't need more ridiculousness. The letter was sent by the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command Fleet Logistics Center in Bahrain, an island neighboring Qatar and Saudi Arabia on the Persian Gulf. During security screening by Bahrain Customs, pornographic materials and/or devices were identified in a package addressed to you. This letter is to notify you that your parcel was returned to the sender. The letter, with the subject line "Adult item identified during X-ray mail screening," reads in part: "Please notify the sender that pornographic materials or devices are not allowed in the Kingdom of Bahrain." Bennett did not say what items were sent to the military members. That's too bad. I was hoping she would tell us. But noted how the letters were likely intended to be sent to them, as the U.S. Department asked the buyer to inform Bon Gibon, in effect, stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain. Okay, so it was a butt plug then. We got a huge kick out of it, Bennett said. We don't judge. We want everyone to order whichever they want, and we want everyone to feel confident and start shopping for whatever they want. But there is a juxtaposition of a military person in a foreign country ordering butt plugs and having no understanding that those items are illegal in the country they're in. Yeah, I guess you're just gonna have to use a vegetable like everyone else. The Pentagon declined to comment. Please do not put vegetables up your butt, or anything actually, except for a sex toy. They're designed to do that.
I don't know. Whatever, man.
But sadly, I guess that's the only choice they have. They have to take a carrot from the mess hall or something. The Pentagon declined to comment to CTV News Toronto's repeated requests, saying that they don't have anything to offer on the topic. Stop sending butt plugs to Bahrain is all they have to say, I guess. Bennett questioned whether or not the American soldiers stationed in Bahrain had been directly notified on what they are allowed to order to the country. "I don't know why they're sending me very cross letters saying stop sending items that could possibly harm to this country," Bennett said. "This sounds like a you problem. The call was coming from inside the house." As per the U.S. Transportation Command's instructions regarding prohibited items to Bahrain, however, pornographic material including sex toys, handcuffs, and nudity magazines are in strict violation of Bahrain law. CTV News Toronto contacted the Kingdom of Bahrain Ministry of Interior Custom Affairs for comment, but did not receive a response. Bennett says the customers are aware of the situation, had been reimbursed for the products they paid for. There's many layers of hilarity in this that we can all just poke fun at. The situation is quite funny, while at the same time I generally want everyone, and I'm sad that they didn't get their order. Bennett said with a laugh. Yeah, it's too bad. No butt plugs in Bahrain. To memorialize what happened, Bennett says the two letters have been framed in the respective offices in Toronto and British Columbia, both mounted in iridescent bedazzled frames. So, yet again, the message of the story, which is already punny enough, please do not send butt plugs to Bahrain. Give me your bad pun. There's plenty of room for one.
That's not alliteration headline. Well, it's a pun, kinda. You know what a butt plug thinks about all day, right?
What does it think of?
Thinks, oh, here comes another asshole. Not exactly a pun, but it's still
Please
funny.
do not share your butt plugs either. Don't share your butt plugs. Don't send butt plugs to Bahrain. And do not put any vegetables in your butt, please. Thank you. This is your PSA from me.
Yeah.
My next story is shorter and
less taste.
Kind of related to this story, and it's about a Florida man. As always, there's always Florida men getting into some weird and wacky stuff. This is from E.O. Dodds on The Independent. A Florida man has been arrested after authorities accuse him of trespassing on a construction site while concealing a gun beneath a pair of silicone prosthetic breasts and a lacy red bra. What was he planning? Police in Polk County, located roughly between Orlando and Tampa, said they found the 38-year-old Matthew Corino standing beside his vehicle in the processing of donning a bra and a G-string at around 1 a.m. on Sunday, December 14th. According to charging documents, officers ordered him to stay still and handcuffed him while he refused to comply before discovering a loaded handgun concealed beneath his discarded silicone breast forms. Court records show the case was resolved by that Monday, which would have been the 15th of December, but don't say whether the charges were upheld. The Independent has asked Zaccarino and his attorney for comment. Publicity-happy Polk County Sheriff Grady Jude, giving a more colorful description of the incident in one of his regular social media videos, said, "He was ugly. He was so ugly," said Jude, who has held this post for 20 years and whose frank style of public commentary has made him a minor local celebrity. Now, occasionally I bring you stuff that you just can't believe, that you'll never get over, that may even scar you for life. As our deputies approached him to see what he's doing on the construction site, we see this dude is wearing a red lace bra with prosthetic silicone breast forms. Then we notice he's wearing a G-string, showing off the boys, you know what I mean. And then our two deputies say to themselves, this is highly unusual. But you don't realize how dangerous these situations are because under the prosthesis was a gun, so he was armed trespassing. According to Jude, Zaccarino initially claimed that he was on his way to a costume party, but would not answer where the costume party was, and Jude stopped cooperating. Also, he was trespassing. Let me just cut through the construction site on the way to the party. Anyway, he went to jail, Judd concluded. A charging affidavit echoes that story, saying that Zaccarino stated he was going to a party, but was unable to provide a location, direction, or identify individuals who would be present at this party. Court records then showed that he paid a total bond of $6,250. That's an expensive costume party, after which the case was resolved. Videos posted on Facebook, which appear to show the same man, suggested Zaccarino is a realtor in the Orlando metro area who has been on an active campaign for families of victims in the Pulse nightclub massacre. Public records indicate he's also the president of a nonprofit group called Citizens Against Public Corruption. Okay, so he's a good guy, but I just don't know. He stands for good things. Somebody gave him some bad shrooms. It has to be drugs, right? He was partying, right?
Let's not try to defend him. He's just a nut job.
No, I'm not defending him. He does good stuff. He works for a nonprofit and is helping campaigning for victims of the Pulse nightclub massacre. That's good things.
Theoretically, but...
No, that's not theoretically. That's facts. This is an actual fact. He's a realtor.
He says he's in favor of those things. That doesn't mean
No, it says here he has been actively campaigning, and he works, and public records indicate, so it's on paper, that he's the president of a nonprofit group called Citizens Against Public Corruption. Those are real things. This is not a hypothetical.
I can do all that stuff too. I can do all that stuff too. It doesn't mean anything. Anyway.
It's in public records. Anyways.
We're not going to public records. I have a company. I can say Tommy is
there's a man who was trespassing in a construction site, and he was only wearing a G-string, and he was wearing prosthetic breasts, and there was boobs, and he was hiding a gun in those prosthetic breasts, and he had the boys out.
Yeah,
that's who we're defending. I'm saying he must have been on some drugs or something. Otherwise, he's a good guy. He's a pervert, but he's a good guy. It sounds like to me.
Yeah, I suppose, if you want to just leap to that conclusion.
I don't really care if he was walking around in a G-string. It doesn't affect my life.
At a construction site with a gun, he was...
The problem was the trespassing, right? The law he broke was not being in a G-string in public. It was trespassing with a gun. Yeah.
Trespassing with a gun. Again, a lot of people are going to get shot, and we don't know how many. So again, he was not necessarily playing with a full deck, and you want to use
maybe he was wearing the
gun
gun for his own protection because he was walking around in a G-string.
He's just not. Anyway, whatever he was doing, this whole story is kind of a drag. Anyway, so there's your pun.
It was a pink G-string. I don't know if it was hot, Tommy, but it was definitely pink. Give me your bad pun.
Where's your pun? I just did. I said this whole story is kind of a drag. Yeah.
Drag, I get it. Sorry, I missed that.
Man. Okay, anyway, let's he's just punning the history of the world.
It was indeed a drag. Let's roll our segue for your story.
And he did not have any butt plugs on him, did he? Or he could use that.
No. He doesn't live in Bahrain, though, so you can send him butt plugs if you want.
Too bad. Butt plugs in Bahrain is a perfect 2/3 of a alliteration headline.
Also, a good morning, Tommy. I hope happy Wednesday. Our next segue is going to be associate. So give me something to associate this story, or give me a story to associate with.
Okay, the story is about, we're going to talk about guns, and we're going to talk about smoking guns. Not literal guns, figurative smoking guns, because the Mayans didn't have guns. This is from PopularMechanics.com. Archaeologists found a smoking gun behind the end of the Maya kingdom, which had disappeared by the time the Spaniards showed up. Archaeologists discovered clues in a fire in Guatemala from between 733 and 881 AD that they say represents a key turning point in Maya rule, a very public turning point. The discovery at the Maya site of Yucanal in Guatemala marked a public dismantling of an old regime, a rather pivotal moment in the collapse of rulers, and a key point in political power that isn't often shown so clearly from an archaeological find. The authors write in a study published in the journal Antiquity. The event in question occurred at the capital of Quetzaltenango Kingdom, near the burial site. The bodies and their ornaments, items may include a jewel-adorned stone mask, fragments of a greenstone diadem, and jade ornaments, were moved from a tomb to a public burning site, where fire engulfed some of the centuries-old items for all to see. The event marked the moment of change in the kingdom and in the lowlands, the authors wrote. Rather than examine this fire-burning event as a bookend to Maya history, we view it as a pivotal point around which the Xianhuitzal politely reinvented itself, and the city of Uncanal went on to a flourishing of activities. Oh, there's a lot of words that don't mean shit to me. I mean, it's hard to read. The new leadership regime welcomed a non-royal leader called the Pop Malil, and there is little in a written record indicating how he came to power. Pop Malil's rule was not only seminal because his possible foreign origins, interesting, perhaps breaking the succession of ruling dynasts at the site, but also because his rule shifted political dynamics in the southern Maya lowlands. The study authors, led by Christina Halperin and University of Montreal, state that Pop Malil appears to have ushered in an era of prosperity. Substantial construction occurred in both the civic ceremonial core and the outer residential zones of the city following the power shift. The new era may have had a dramatic beginning. The team discovered the fire event in 5 years ago. Evacuations and the construction fill of the temple pyramid situated in a public plaza, and the evidence shows that there was no effort to protect the burial deposit. The team believes that at least 4 adults were part of the burn remains, and the fire reached a temperature of over 800 degrees Celsius. Included with the bodies were 1,470 fragments of greenstone pendants, beads, plaques, and mosaics, along with large blades, all representing a single burning event. The quantity and quality of the burnt and broken ornaments indicate they came from a royal tomb, likely belonging to multiple individuals. The team said evidence indicates that the human bone and ornaments had once been part of the contents of a late classic royal tomb, and the deposit was part of a fire entering rite that marked the symbolic and literal destruction of an earlier Kyanwitznal dynastic line. So they just turned out the old kings and burned them out of their tombs and signified some new change, I guess is what they're theorizing. The authors state that the event appears to have been an act of desecration. It was dumped on the edge of a crude wall, used as a construction pen, and no effort was made to protect the fragmented bones and ornaments from the tomb blocks deposited on top of them as a construction fill. It is likely made for a dramatic public affair meant to be charged with emotion. It could dramatically mark, they wrote, the dismantling of an ancient regime. Yeah, we're tired of all these kings and their human sacrifices, right? And there's a whole shitload of pictures that link me to other stories, and hopefully there's some more. Okay, that is the end of the story. And it ends with a biography for the writer, Tim Newcomb, and there's a picture of him. He's a smiling guy with glasses and kind of balding on top. Little Tim Newcomb. There's your story on the Mayas and what the hell happened to the Mayas. And their theory is, a new foreign king. They don't describe what foreign means. It could have been from across the sea.
It could have been somebody from a different region of Mexico or Mesoamerica.
Right on.
Somebody from Venezuela, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Anywhere. It could have been one of Maduro's ancestors from Venezuela.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I associate with this is, of course, the famous Mel Gibson film, which I can't think of the name of right now. Yeah, that film.
Uh-huh.
In which it was similar to his Scottish epic. It was not very historically accurate because they combined a lot of Mayan and Aztec cultural practices together into one thing, and it's a bit of and then suddenly Spain showed up at the end of the film, which would have been way
everybody
not at the right time, and nothing was lined up correctly.
I think at least he used indigenous people to play indigenous people.
Yes, and they used a language based on the original, ancient Mesoamerican languages or whatever.
That's with most Hollywood. They're trying to teach you a little bit of history by getting the details completely wrong.
But then they mix it all up, and then you don't learn any history.
The Mayans,
they're the ones killed them all, right? It's like, no, Columbus never made it to mainland America. He stopped at Cuba.
Were gone.
He never got farther than Cuba.
The Mayans are gone 500 years before Columbus showed up. So,
yeah, and it was the Aztecs that were the last.
That's a long time.
The Aztecs were the last
5 hours there.
empire, Mesoamerican empire, and then after that we're now in the nation state era. Where you've got Mexico was kind of an empire. Mexico technically owned a lot of land that was not originally Mexico, but they're also they were also a Spanish territory for a while. So they're just an extension of Spanish colonialization in a way.
And if you're scoring at home or just alone at home, 500 years is about 2,500 generations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
500 years
is
for
five
us would have been the 1500s, which is when they were doing that.
I'm sorry, not. I say 500. I say 2,500 generations. Yeah, that's what I said. It's 250 generations, not 2,500.
Yeah.
Wait, no, 25 generations. I'm totally lost. I'm moving to zero. 500 years.
We got there.
Right? Yeah. It's 5 centuries, 5 generations per century. That's 25 generations back before the Spaniards showed up. So everybody was genetically different by then. Just completely mutated, whatever the hell happened in this part of the world.
Mutated.
Okay. Well, it's a long time. 500 mutations can happen that quick in humans, I think.
You have another story?
Yes, I do. Our next story is about birds. I'm sorry, not about birds. It's about the ocean, and it's also about Central and South America. The Panama Sea stopped breathing in 2025, and what satellites of fishermen saw had never been recorded in 4 decades. Yeah, a sea stopped breathing last year. This is from ecosias.com. No author's name on it. After 4 decades, the Pacific coast of Panama has counted on a reliable seasonal pulse of cold, nutrient-rich water that powers local fisheries and cools coral reefs. In early 2025, that pulse all but vanished. Scientists report that the Gulf of Panama's usual upwelling failed for the first time in an instrumental record, a breakdown that they see as a warning about how quickly the climate disruption can unsettle tropical areas. During most years, from roughly December to April, strong northerly trade winds sweep across Central America and into the Gulf of Panama. These winds push aside warm surface waters so that the cooler deep water can rise, bringing nutrients that feed phytoplankton and in turn dense schools of fish. The same cool water takes an edge of regional marine heat, giving nearby coral reefs a measure of protection against bleaching during the dry season. The 2025 season looked very different. Satellite maps that usually glow red over the Gulf at the height of the upwelling instead showed extremely low chlorophyll, a sign of depleted surface ocean. Field measurements revealed that the water column remained strongly stratified, with little sign of vertical mixing that normally defines the system. The proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences study found that typical upwelling in the region begins in late January, lasts about 2 months, and can drive surface temperatures down near 19 degrees Celsius, while in 2025 cooling arrived weeks late, persisted for only a short period, and never reached past about 23 degrees. So it didn't cool off shit. It just said, a little bit. No, we're out of here. As if it has a mind of it. As if it has a mind of its own, right?
Yeah,
Biologist Aaron O'Day of the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute, or the STRI, described the scene bluntly, saying that the tropical Panamanian Sea has lost its vital breath. What robbed the ocean of that breath was not a lack of cold water at depth, but a breakdown of atmospheric engine that normally lifts it. The research team shows that in 2025, the Panama wind jet formed far less than usual, so the cumulative push to northerly winds never reached the threshold needed to trigger robust upwelling. When those winds did blow, they were about as strong as in past years, yet their frequency dropped sharply and calm periods lengthened, leaving surface waters warm and stratified. For the first time, we have observed how changes in an atmospheric and oceanic circulation system exceed a threshold and lead to reduced biological production, explained Rolf Scheibel of the Max Planck Institute of Chemistry. At the same time, climate geochemist Gerald Haug cautioned that it is still too early to state that warming alone will systematically weaken this tropical upwelling, even though the event fits broader concerns about shifting wind patterns in a hotter world. The ecological fallout of the Gulf has been rapid, with few nutrients reaching the surface. Phytoplankton populations shrank, and the base of the food web weakened. Reports from the region describe sharp drops in availability of small pelagic fish, such as mackerel and sardines. Holy mackerel! Along with squid and other cephalopods. Mackerel and sardines are them fish you can just crunch the bones. They won't get caught in your throat or nothing. Coral reefs, which usually benefit from cooler upwelled water, endured more intense heat stress, increasing the risk and severity of bleaching events. Bleaching events is the sun just killing your coral reefs. The study warns that repeated failures of upwelling could drive long declines in fisheries productivity and amplify thermal stress in already vulnerable coral communities. For coastal villages, the small-scale fishers around the Gulf of Panama, this is not an abstract oceanographic anomaly. Holy crap! Abstract oceanographic anomaly. Holy crap, I love these words. Their catches depend on the seasonal enrichment that the upwelling brings, and any substantial drop in productivity threatens incomes and local food security. Yes, fishing villages don't really exist without fish. Scientists involved in the work emphasize that the same physical process that fertilizes the sea has supported human society along the coast for centuries. The 2025 failure also exposes a quiet gap in global climate monitoring. Temperate upwelling systems off California or Peru are tracked closely, but many tropical counterparts are sparsely instrumented. Apart from a 40-year satellite record and a handful of coastal stations, the detailed picture of Panama existed only because the research yacht S.Y. Eugene Seibold had begun systematic surveys in the region 2 years earlier. If our oceanographic mission had not taken place, no one would have known about the upwelling had stopped, noted researcher Hanno A. Slachter. That prospect worries scientists because similar breakdowns in other poorly monitored tropical regions could unfold without any warning for managers, fishers, and coastal communities. The authors of the PNAS paper argued that the Panama event should be treated as an early test of resiliency for tropical oceans. Whether 2025 turns out to be a rare outlier or the first in a series of failed seasons will depend on the trade winds, the large-scale climate patterns, and greenhouse gas emissions evolve over the coming years. What is already clear is that the communities and ecosystems have grown tightly bound to seasonal rhythm in the sea that is less guaranteed than it once seemed. Strengthening ocean observing networks, updating fisheries and management, and accelerating efforts to limit global warming are all part of the response, and we hope to keep that rhythm alive. And we can associate this with something.
I can associate with this with something that I talked to Robert about the other day. The increase in wind speed in the Netherlands. When he was growing up as a little Dutch kid, the wind rarely got to Mach 3. And is it Mach 3? No, not Mach 3.
Mach 3, the 3 times the speed of sound. That's some serious wind.
Yeah, that's too fast.
Okay.
Just 3, whatever, level 3 wind. I don't know, but it's just called 3.
Level 3.
It rarely got to that high. 3. I think 3 knots, maybe? 3 knots? Maybe based off of...
3 knots? No.
Yeah, I don't know.
3 knots
I have no idea what they use.
Wind.
They just say it's 3. When
you
look up what's the wind today in the Netherlands, it says 3.
Yeah.
But because of climate change, it's actually been 3 almost all year round, and it gets to 4 more often too. Which 3 pretty hard to bike in. 4 don't even get on your bike. Right? If you have to go against the wind, just walk. It'll be faster. And if you're going with the wind, then you'll speed down as fast as a car because you'll have all that tailwind. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of the fact that climate change does affect the wind, the global wind, because it creates more air pressure. It makes the water more hot and makes the wind go faster.
Unless you're one of those idiots that just buys the oil company's spin that, global warming's a hoax. Let's burn more oil. Let's invade countries for oil. Even.
It's snowing right now. Global warming's a hoax because it's snowing right now. Okay.
Hey, snow.
Okay. Let me look this up. I know there's a word for it, but I don't remember what it is. Yeah, it just says wind, and the wind is going south 3. I've literally, for like a while, I feel like the wind hasn't been 1 in a long time.
Well, it isn't knots. So, knots is just another word for nautical miles.
Yeah, I wish it would tell me what measurement they're using. It just says wind. The wind is at in South 3. The wind is...
Yeah, it's Category 3 wins. Probably the same as hurricane.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. It must be speed.
Damaging
conversion.
wind.
Yeah.
Damaging wind.
Three,
that was a long.
3 kilometers a second. That'd be pretty fast. That would be, actually.
All right. Meanwhile, we just keep fighting wars for oil because, hey, we got another planet we
Well,
can
the
live
thing
on,
is,
right?
we're not even fighting wars for oil to use it. We're just using it to store it, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's just
we're
being stored in a warehouse somewhere.
We're kidnapping leaders for oil, but not just for the oil, to keep the oil prices high and to keep oil companies in, luxury. Because God knows.
I'm literally rolling hypothetical 3 times in a row right now. Give me a second.
Wow.
One day I'll land on something that is hypothetical.
No
All right,
wheel.
here we go.
No
Limerick.
wheel.
Make me a limerick for this culture news. One limerick, one
limerick.
culture news.
Okay.
We're going to talk
At least
about
it's
the weird wackiness of trying to charge people in Rome to visit the Trevi Fountain. Good luck, the government of Rome. This is on Euronews Culture. Sorry?
The what fountain?
The Trevi Fountain. You know, the famous Roman fountain that people throw things in. There's like the marble thing, like the statues in the background.
You're going to have to explain it to me. I have no idea.
You've never heard of the Trevi Fountain in Rome?
I've never been to Rome.
But you've never heard of the Trevi Fountain?
Sorry. Lots of things I haven't heard of. Okay.
All right. Well,
pretty
either
simple.
way,
I've never
it's the
been to
most
Rome,
famous
and
thing
I
that
care
people go
very
to
little
Rome
about
for,
it, so.
other than, I guess, Vatican
Good job.
City.
Okay.
This is
I would
by
go for
Stefani
ancient
Del
Roman
Michele
ruins.
and
Oh,
Tocumbo
yeah.
Sulaco. Tourists in Rome next month will have to pay €2 to visit the Trevi Fountain, but entry remains free for residents. The measures is the latest in a series of heritage preservation schemes in Europe, where cities such as Venice, Athens, and Seville are increasing efforts to protect monuments. Visitors in the Italian capital will soon be subject to a €2 charge if they want to visit the Trevi Fountain, one of Italy's most famous symbols and a benchmark of its artistic heritage. The measure, promoted by the Councillor for Tourism and Major Events Alessandro Onorato, approved by the municipal administration, is part of a plan to manage tourist flows and protect the ornate site from the damage and degradation caused by crowds of visitors. You know what also degrades marble? Cars. Move cars out of your city too. The estimated entrance fee could swell municipal coffers by up to €20 million, with resource earmarked for improving the facilities for tourists and services dedicated to the site, like a bathroom. For months, the area around the fountain has been subject to controls to limit the number of people to a maximum of 400 at any one time. Now, as part of the measures, 2 separate access lanes will be organized. One for residents for whom entry will remain free, and another for tourists who will be able to pay for their tickets with credit cards. They've also added fencing, gates, glass freaking windows, just so that people can't walk into it. Back in the 90s, you used to be able to go all right up to the fountain and stand right next to it, and now there's just scaffolding and things blocking the way. They even added a little aquarium where you can throw your coins into, because I think we talked about this probably 2 years ago. The coins were destroying the Trevi Fountain, all that copper and whatever, bronze, it was destroying the fountain. So they were like, no longer allowed to throw coins into the fountain anymore. The fountain isn't even on anymore. It's just a dry fountain. It's still very beautiful, right? Great marble statues. I think it's of Zeus and many different, I shouldn't say Zeus. It's probably Saturn and Jupiter and stuff, right? The Roman versions of the Greek gods.
Would have been
The
Mars.
decision is primarily motivated
Mars.
by local complaints about overcrowding at the Trevi Fountain, where millions of people flock every year to take photos or make a wish by flipping a coin in the fountain. Maybe the reason I know what Trevi Fountain is more than you is because in the Lizzie McGuire movie, she goes to Rome and she does like a thing where she, puts her back to the fountain and throws the coin in the air and says, "I wish for a great summer," or something Disney Channel goofiness, and then she ends up having a doppelganger becomes a pop star because it's a Disney movie, but I guess the coin worked. In the first 6 months of 2025 alone, the area recorded more than 5.3 million visitors. Multiply that by €2, and that's 10 million euros, a number higher than the Pantheon in the whole of 2024. Well, the Pantheon is... Well, actually, I don't know. I wonder why the Pantheon isn't as popular. However, there is no shortage of criticism of the monetization of the public space. The Chronicles Association has called the ticket... Hey, it's the Chronicles again from the Sicilian story. Look at that. The Chronicles Association has called the ticket a detriment, arguing that beauties such as squares and fountains should remain accessible for free, and that proceeds from the tourist taxes are often not reinvested to improve services. According to the association, it is instead desirable to maintain a quota access to avoid overcrowding and defacement. Rome's choice is part of a broader European context in which several cities are experimenting with or discussing ways to regulate access to their iconic open-air cultural attractions and mitigate the effects of mass tourism. I mean, yeah, Amsterdam for I think since COVID has been stopping people from drinking while walking around in the street, right? You can't walk around with alcohol in your hand anymore. Smoking in the street isn't allowed anymore. Honestly, the cafes have just completely gone down in vibe and everything. But
smoking in the street, imagine that. You're smoking in the street.
And they're trying to get rid of all those stupid gift shops that sell stupid Amsterdam, weed paraphernalia and stuff.
Right, like a cough.
Venice is the best known case of mass tourism, with entrance fee for day visitors on the days of the greatest tourist influx varying between around 5 and 10 euros, with exemptions for residents and those staying in the city. So if you stay in Venice, you're allowed to visit it for free. But if you're staying in Rome and you're visiting Venice, you're going to have to pay 5 to 10 euros to visit the city. The systems make it possible to monitor flows and discourage excessive day visitors on the most congested routes. In Spain, cities as Seville are considering charging a fee for access to the famous Plaza de España to finance maintenance and security of the space. In the Netherlands, the village of Schans has introduced an entrance fee of about 17.50 euros. Only the Dutch would capitalize on something. Only the Dutch would be like, give me 17 euros to see the Schans, to visit the historic center with its windmills. This is where you can see a bunch of windmills. Here's my Dutch advice. If you want to see windmills, go to Leiden. There's a huge windmill in the city center. Then you can go biking around the area, around Leiden, and see plenty of windmills. And you don't have to pay 17 euros, okay? You don't have to pay 17 euros. Protecting the heritage and lives of the residents who are probably tired of the overcrowding. I would definitely be tired of the overcrowding. I just live in Sanskans and people keep coming in here looking at windmills. You can see windmills all over the country, god damn it. In addition to tickets, many European cities are testing non-burdensome solutions to reduce overcrowding without directly burdening visitors. In France, some heavily frequented areas such as the island of Ile-de-Bréhat in Brittany and natural areas such as the Calaquès National Park on the outskirts of Marseille have introduced daily access limits and advanced bookings, thus managing the influx during peak periods without requiring any direct payment. Sorry, only reservations from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. After that, you can access the park freely. In Paris and Marseille, authorities use similar systems to distribute flows in the most sensitive places, improving the safety and usability of public spaces. Yeah, when we went to Paris, I guess it was 2 years ago now. 3 years ago now. Well, still 2 years ago now. I wanted to go to the palace in Marseille, and then I remembered that the whole place is just crowded, right? It's not like a museum, which museums are usually pretty empty. You can walk around freely and there's not a huge amount of crowds. But Marseille is just a whole palace room just full of people looking at fancy paintings and gold trimmings and stuff. In Paris and Marseille, oh sorry, I already did that one. In Greece, the Acropolis of Athens has implemented a time-based access system to better distribute visitors throughout the day, avoiding overcrowding during peak hours, and preserving the most fragile archaeological structures without changing the principle of public access to the site. We were lucky enough to actually be in Athens during Free Museum Week. It wasn't planned, but it just happened to be happening when we went there. Yeah. So we were able to visit all of these things for free, and it was pretty crowded still, but I think that was the whole
because it was free.
Yeah. In Germany, many historic cities and towns regulate tourism through participant quotas for group tours, limitations on activities in fragile neighborhoods, and regulations on tourist traffic, focusing on the protection of residents and the quality of the visit, without introducing tickets for access to squares or fountains to open to the public. These strategies show how tourism management can combine heritage preservation, urban livability, and quality tourist experiences without fees. So maybe Rome will switch to that, who knows, but I guess they're going to try this 2 year. 2 euros is not too bad. You know, that's like a can of Coke or a 2 liter of Coke or something. You know, you don't get a buy and you can visit a fountain, I guess. But I do agree that you have to be worried about these fees because like Kodakon said, there's no guarantee they're going to use those fees to actually use it to improve the fountain or improve the square. They can just funnel it into something else, right? Which, if I lived in Rome and I found out they're funneling the fees of the fountain into, I don't know, more bus routes, I'd be pretty happy. But are they going to funnel into that? We don't know. We don't know. That's what they're saying. The government can say whatever they want. Are they going to do it is a different story.
Yeah.
But that's my story.
Yeah, who knows where the money goes? Yep. Where does the money go is the question of the week. Oh, and my limerick. I'm going to have to paraphrase Bob Dylan for this limerick from his song, When I Paint My Masterpiece. The first line of that song is, "The streets of Rome are filled with rubble. You might even think you're seeing double. As an ancient water spout, people brag about as they stampede to Rome and cause trouble." I had two lines from Bob Dylan, so if you're scoring at home, that's 2 drinks.
Yep, that's 2 shots. Put on
if you're
the bingo
scoring
board.
at home,
We really should get a bingo, like a bingo
again.
game running during this show.
If you're scoring at home, and once again, if you're just scoring alone by yourself. Yeah, anyway.
Nobody's here to tell you can't drink at, well, depends what time it is.
Drink all you want. Yeah, yeah. We're just going to change our name to the Alcoholics Drinking Game Show. That's what it's going to be called. No, just joking. Don't be an alcoholic. And some people just can't avoid it.
I can't say anything. I've never drunk in my life. I drank on my 21st birthday, and I was like, that was fine. I won't do it again, I think.
You might not have the gene to metabolize alcohol, right? It's a European.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, well, to be fair, Mom was always drinking rum and Cokes, which is not exactly the lightest alcohol to drink. So.
And she gets drunk on fumes, so that would also be a thing for you. So anyway, that's my limerick. I did send you a video.
I get drunk on cheese. I get drunk on Swiss fondue, which has alcohol in it. So
I never get drunk anymore because usually one drink, I just go to sleep.
Yeah, that's how I had half a shot of tequila, and I'm in a full shot of tequila, and I was like, guys,
all right, everybody,
can I take a nap?
Yeah. Now, the problem with alcohol, again, alcohol is instant energy because your body burns alcohol. It creates alcohol and burns it as energy. So when you drink alcohol, you got a shitload of energy all of a sudden, and it just burns you out, and you go straight to sleep. That's what it's basically does to your body. It depresses you, stimulates you, and then depresses you almost immediately, like within an hour. Anyway, I send you a video.
I'm going to tell you a joke.
And,
I got your video.
And we're gonna do this day in history again because history never stops. Have you noticed that? It never stops.
And if you're a millennial,
we're only going back to 8.
I'll put that on the bingo board too. Allison mentions being a millennial for the 15th time.
Is that what you are? I'm in the generation between Generation X and baby boomers because
well, technically I'm a zillennial because I'm also in between Zoomer and millennial because I've experienced both sides of that alley, I guess.
Supposedly we're Generation Alpha now. It's like, okay, wasn't there an original Generation Alpha, and where the hell was that, right? Because Generation X was the first one I know identified with a letter.
No, it would be Y and
no
Z,
generation.
which is why the Zoomers are called Zoomers, because they're Generation Z.
But there's no Generation W I know of, or is that just the one before X? No,
Yeah,
that
I don't
one
know
was
why
the,
we
the
started with
Boomers.
X. I'm not sure what the X came from, yeah.
Just people are stupid,
But
that's
before
why.
the Boomers, it was
I
the
just
silent
attribute-
generation, so that wasn't a letter either.
I attribute most things in life to people are stupid. That's just all there is to it. I don't know any evidence of that. You know, there's a few geniuses here and there, but most people are just, oh shit, I walked into a wall. See that there? You know, it's just like that. Not literally like that. That's what it is. It's like, you don't fucking learn until smack hits you right in the face. Which is most people. They don't know how things work. They'll smacks them in the face. What? You have to have money in a bank account to write a check? I didn't know that. Oh, God, they're not teaching you anything in school anymore. So I think the Boomers were probably the last generation that had to be self-sufficient. Maybe Generation X. It had to be self-sufficient. I don't even know, right? You could go out in the forest and with your basic trainings in life, you could survive because technology hadn't made you, oh my God, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right, complacent, that word. We just go, oh my God, technology's down. The Wi-Fi goes down. And I'm a victim of this too, right? I lose my freaking mind. I don't have Wi-Fi. What do? I gotta have a conversation with a human. Holy shit. Anyway, let's get on this day in history. Millard Fillmore was born on this day. Happy birthday to Millard, one of your most forgettable presidents. He was the 13th president of the United States, so happy birthday to him and his progeny. He was born 226 years ago. 1844, we jump ahead. Saint Bernadette, who was hallucinating, the French girl whose visions of the Virgin Mary led to founding of the Shrine of Lourdes, was born in that town. And she said, I've been inhaling invisible gas, and since it has no odors, I'm hallucinating. And again, you can hallucinate from a lot of things. But she saw the Virgin Mary, which again, Virgin Mary is a myth. In itself, the whole thing is a myth, is it not?
It was a misunderstanding of scripture.
Right, just, where does it say she was a virgin? 1891, she was married, for God's sake. How many married
And
virgins,
she had children. Jesus had siblings.
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea about that part, but I'm just saying she was married to Joseph, and Joseph wasn't getting any? I don't think she was a virgin. Anyway, 1891, Nora Neale Hurston, an American folklorist and writer associated with Harlem Renaissance, was born. She celebrated the Harlem Renaissance, which is now defined for a change for us, celebrated black culture in the rural South. In 1955, American contralto Maria Anderson first performed at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. Why is that important? She wasn't white. 1957, American broadcaster Katie Couric was born. Happy birthday to Katie. She was the first solo female anchor in major network, CBS, which is now anchored by a complete moron. Did you see the CBS first broadcast? We got to show this tomorrow. I should have shown it today. Oh my God. CBS News hired a new anchor. Just the sidebar. CBS News hired a new anchor, fired the old one because now we're a fascist network. And the very first broadcast was a total fuck up. You think our technical glitches? We're not the CBS News. We're not making $1 million a year. We got technical glitches. The CBS News first broadcast with our new anchor, nothing but fuck ups. So I think the technicians don't want to work there anymore. I think that's what it is. Like, fuck this place. 1968, we're not a news organization anymore, CBS. We're a propaganda for the White House. That's what CBS is. It's another Fox News, but it's being broadcast everywhere. 1968, on this day, uncrewed U.S. space probe Surveyor 7 was launched, and a few days later made a soft landing on the moon. Once again, I'm not getting paid $1 million to do this, so I can fuck up all I want, right? Nobody's paying me. Nobody's going, you suck! Well, they are, but nobody in the control room is going, that guy can't read. CBS News anchor can't read either, and the teleprompter guys are sleeping. That's the funniest part. I mean, we'll do this video tomorrow. You can watch it on your own. 1979, Vietnamese forces took control of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, ousting the Khmer Rouge and its leader Pol Pot. Khmer Rouge wiped out half of the population, roughly. 2001, John Kufuor was inaugurated as president of Ghana in that country's first peaceful transition from one elected government to another. In 2003, by presidential decree, Christmas, the day on the Coptic Orthodox calendar, was celebrated for the first time as a national holiday in Egypt, which is almost an entirely Muslim country. Oh, we got to have a special man holiday too. We need another special man holiday. 2015, 2 gunmen connected to Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, a Yemeni-based militant group, stormed the Paris's offices of Charlie Hebdo and killed 12 people in retribution for the satirical magazine's portrayal of the Prophet Muhammad. The attackers were later killed by police. No sense of humor these people have, as Yoda would say. 2025, the Palisades, Eaton, and Hearst fires began. This is 1 year ago, and those are the ones in Los Angeles. A couple of those, at least 1 or 2 of those, were started by one person. They burned tens of thousands of acres and were just a few of the wildfires that destroyed parts of Los Angeles region in early 2025. Yeah, so Los Angeles still recovering from that. And thanks to Donald Trump, has made it much harder for anybody to live. They're pretty much on their own. And 1972 is our featured event, is the first black hole discovered. Don't take this personally. If you have a black hole that nobody's discovered, this is the first one that scientists say was discovered. On this day in 1972, scientists Louise Webster and Paul Merton announced that they had confirmed the existence of a black hole for the first time using the Isaac Newton telescope in East Sussex, England. That's Sir Isaac Newton to you. The scientists measured the strangely powerful X-ray energy present at the northern constellation Cygnus. The scientists finally revealed that the Cygnus X-1, or SIG X-1, which had previously been classified as one star, was actually a binary system made up of a star and a black hole that was slowly pulling that star into its depths. The SIG H-1 is believed to be one of the fastest spinning black strong that even light cannot escape. That's why it's called a black hole. And we're slowly getting sucked into one. There's no doubt about that. Our featured biography, we're not going to see it, but our, 80,000 generations down the line, it's going to be a bad news day. All at once. Featured biography, Hirohito, the Emperor of Japan, he got to be 87. Not a lot of World War II Axis leaders got to be 87. Most of them, like Hitler, died in a bunker.
Well, Hirohito was lucky enough to have his military leaders to blame, right? They're the ones who did that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, he could blame Tojo for everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was legitimately just a figurehead, although he was definitely broadcasting propaganda. April 29th, propaganda, again, is not just
if you're a figurehead, you are literally propaganda in human form, right? If you're a figurehead.
Right. It's just, again, they believed he was God on earth, which is just ridiculous. I mean, if you're going to worship somebody, you might as well worship somebody that actually exists, at least, right? You can prove he exists. You can say he's God on earth all you want. Doesn't make it true, but at least you're looking at somebody that's physically there instead of going, invisible man, save me. Anyway, this guy actually had the power to save you because he theoretically was in control of a country. April 29th was his birthday of 1901, but he died on this day in 1989. I remember this day because guess where I was in 1989? I was in Japan. So, hello. I was Okinawa, which is technically Japan. And so, flags at half-staff for the rest of the time I was there. The Japanese flag was at half-staff. And the Okinawan flags and whatever other flags. Even, I think the American flags were even half-staff. 1844, St. Bernadette of Lourdes was born. We did that. Zora Neale Hurston, American author, in 1891. We did Carrie Couric. It's Nicolas Cage's birthday. Yeah, that guy. Guy's in 7 million movies. He's turning 61 today. He's born in 1964. It's the 58th birthday of, once again, I don't know what year it is. He's turning 62 today. He was born in 1964. And turning 57 today is Nick Clegg, British politician. 57. Turning 59 today. Oof. Losing my math skills all of a sudden. National days today, besides our buddy Bobblehead Mark here. It's National Tempura Day, and that is all it is. Yeah, it's those two things. So those are your mispronunciations, your haikus, your whatever, your news, your weirdness, everything from Bobblehead Kingdom and Hotel Security on January 7th, 2026 on Before Tempura.
I love tempura.
Yeah.
It was also too high, but I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to
Okay, whatever, right.
He was
bobbleheading, man.
It was bobble chin,
That's
less bobblehead.
You can't have a bobblehead that sits still, otherwise it's not a bobblehead, right? You gotta keep shaking it.
All right, I've got three jokes for you.
epilepsy.
I don't know if you can see me,
Right.
but this one is a visual joke, so you're gonna have to see me to see the joke, to get the joke.
Well, your camera's locked up. I don't know, for some
camera's
reason
locked
it's gonna. Well, on my end it is.
Oh yeah, you're right. It must be because I closed it. I see it now that I'm just like looking in a direction. I think my phone died. Okay, my phone died, so that's why. Well, you just have to pull up the live stream if you can, but otherwise, this is for the audience only. Black hole. I don't give off visible light. You literally can't take a picture of me. Some intelligent thing on a rock does it anyway. The black hole. That's the visual joke.
You
Surprised
something.
face. Surprised face. My next joke. This is one of my dark jokes here. What was the worst thing about finally getting my pilot goggles at the end of pilot training? Emperor Hirohito handed them to me. Because if anyone knows, at the end of World War II, they ran out of ammunition, right? They couldn't shoot anybody down with their jets or their planes.
Kamikaze time.
Yep. So they just we'll just slam our planes into the ship. So that will fix it. Oh dear. And my final joke is, my wife does not approve of my collection of bobbleheads that look just like me. She says I have a tendency to get ahead of myself. That's your pun. That's your pun. Luckily, that one doesn't look anything like you, so you're not ahead of yourself. You're behind yourself.
All right.
All right. But there's all my jokes. There's all our segues done for today. No international... Nothing to celebrate internationally, so I don't know. Go celebrate yourself today.
Yeah.
This has been Allison here from the Netherlands and Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we finish off another Wacky and Weird Wednesday. I hope you are full of the wacky and weirdness that's been going on this week. We'll be back tomorrow for Thursday's 13, which do you already have a list ready for that?
I do, but I don't remember what it is. But I'll look it up.
So we'll remember what it is by tomorrow. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel on For Coffee so that we can get more subscribers, so that YouTube knows people care about watching the show, and then it'll show more people our videos. The algorithm will speak for us, I think. And thank you everyone who's already supporting the show by subscribing, by following, having those notifications on, and of course everyone on Patreon who's supporting the show as well. You can support us for
and we also take cash.
a month. Exactly.
We also take cash. Donations. Buy us a coffee, legitimately.
Buy us a coffee. We'll see you tomorrow for Thursday's 13. Here is our mic drop moment.
Boats are sinking in Juneau due to that heavy amount of snowfall this week as crews rush to clear it before it is too late. Joe Allgood spoke with some of the harbor master about the goings-on.
The harbor master.
The Juneau harbor master says 9
Somebody
boats
fucked
have
up
sunk
here,
so far,
right?
and dozens more are struggling to stay above water as the weight of the snow piles up.
Nice hair, man.
That record-breaking amount of snow is keeping harbor crews
straight out of the 80s.
busy.
That hair is
boats range in size
that hair
from
should have its own
16 to
show.
58 feet. According to the harbor master.
Damn, look at all
Since
those
most of the workers are
expensive,
seasonal,
lots of
working
money.
only over the summer, They say that staff is about 6 to 10 people in the winter.
Ooh.
Thankfully, they've been able to call in seasonal
Somebody's
workers
not
who
clearing
live
the
in
snow
Juneau
off the
year-round
boats.
to help
They're
out.
supposed to be doing
With
that.
more snow on the
Yep.
way this weekend, boat owners are advised to
Harbor
check in
mast.
daily.
Oh, they're glad
Oh,
struck
shit.
on that
Wow.
one.
Pull it off as it comes because you don't know when more snow is coming, and or you don't know when there might be an opportunity where you can't make it down to the harbor. So
I think you do know. It's
if
called
you've
the
got a boat in
weather.
the water in this kind of weather, you need
But,
to be
you
down
know.
there
Yeah.
daily, checking it out and shoveling it off.
If you're the harbor
Salvage efforts
master,
are
that's your
already underway
job.
for the
Yeah.
That is your
boats, and I'll have more on
legitimate
that
job.
tonight, as
There's
well as the
nobody
roof
in their
collapse of the
boats.
local
You're
dojo
supposed to keep it
mentioned
from
earlier
sinking.
on the late edition.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.